Hey team, just want to talk about a few things. Got a few new shirts in, I'll be showing them off soon. Got some new Team Wash shirts with my golden logo. Some nice Humanifort shirts with the website on the back. Some of my top guys will be wearing them, so watch for that. They're very, very nice. Got a sticker for the car window. I don't know how well that pays off, but I'm going to start making some videos on Humanifort just because the rash of supplements that people buy to do things that are subpar that Humanifort does directly, and you could literally throw an entire tote full of vitamins out and get more out of Humanifort than you did out of these supplements. Not just vitamins, you need vitamins, but out of all these supplements, like I had posted yesterday about the NAD Plus, Humanifort itself increases that in your body. The BPC 157, Humanifort increases that in your body. Thymosin B4, IGF-1, IGF-2, follistatin, all these individual peptides and things that people buy and spend large amounts on every single individual peptide. The peptide dealers are going to, they hate hearing this, but it's a fact. The growth factors are even before the peptides. It not only contains follistatin, IGF-1, IGF-2, but it contains a full spectrum of growth factors, epidermal growth factor, all the fibroblast growth factors. It is what constructs the entire body. The only peptide out there that it couldn't replace, honestly, for a large part, is like melanotan. But even at that, Humanifort would make your melanin receptors more receptive, and it would work better. And taking Humanifort, the thing is, instead of buying all these other supplements, you want more follistatin, just take more Humanifort. Now, for the everyday person that wants health benefits, 2 a day is a great dose. I have people that have been able to come off of antidepressants because it makes the receptors for the serotonin and dopamine more sensitive and balances out brain neurons. We're able to get the guys' testosterone levels figured out and their testosterone be more, their receptors more sensitive. Don Bones was an example. I got him off of 3 different diabetic medications, and on the medications his blood sugars were 150 and his resting blood sugars were 184 6 weeks later with 0 drugs. Then the low dose TRT, we know how to take a dose perfectly that we max out every day and the threshold and come back down, and we never cross that barrier where we suppress the hypothalamus, the testes. There's no health issues with it, but because Humanifort makes the receptors turn up to such a high degree, you get results out of it as though you were on a much larger dose. Now, without the Humanifort, guys that took too high a doses for too long, they won't recover. It only takes 8 weeks on the right dose, and then I like 4 Humanifort. Some guy 3 would be minimum, 2 very minimum, but it will restore the hypothalamus function within 8 weeks. And your adrenal cortex, you'll start responding to caffeine and things like that normally. Sleep will get better. You'll start to see gains again. Your free testosterone will go up. Sex drive will increase. You'll start waking up with morning erections. It's almost like going through puberty again. It basically is. And then It has activin in it, which is a large part of fertility and the sex hormones. And then it also helps women on the aspect. Growth factors are not just for men. All creatures have growth factors, but they are the beginning of all life, and they are all cell communication. I try to get that across to people. You know, they're going to take all these supplements that they're reading about, and then if you read up on the fibroblast growth factors, you can look at all the studies done, and most of the fibroblast growth factors out there replace these. Then, because it's in the full spectrum, they balance each other out. If you were to just synthetically take one growth factor, it could go too high and throw other ones off. But when they're all there, they're all telling everything to balance out. You know what I mean? So everything will be at an optimal level. And if you take more and your body doesn't use it, what's left would just be broken down into little amino acid fragments and then absorbed by the body. But guys that are training extremely hard, it grows the villi, it heals the stomach and the lining, but grows the villi in the small intestine and allows you to absorb 18% more of the protein you eat, which is not a small thing. You know, that's 18 grams out of every 100, right? So the thing is, and then repair and growth. All repair and growth come from these growth factors. So even if somebody still wants to take these damn peptides, taking Humanifor along with them will increase how the peptides work, and you can be more sensitive to them longer. You won't have to come off of them and things like that. The Humanifor keeps the receptor sensitive and balances things out. But I'm saying you want more BPC 157 or thiamycin B4, just take another couple capsules of Humanifor. It's a huge difference going from 2 to 4 or 6. You take 6 Humanifor a day, most men won't, or women won't even have the mental drive to utilize the repairability of that. You could work out full body, like 1 or 2 sets twice a day, as long as you're eating enough protein every day, and still recover. That's a given fact. Anybody who wants to know anything about that, my buddy Johan, when I helped him take over his TRT and show him to do it right, I'd seen some people roast him and saying that they didn't believe his TRT was as low as it was, and it was all a mutual coach, which was completely ignorant. And I have fixed that coach's people's health issues as well. But he was not lying. It's the truth. You can literally get steroid cycle-like gains out of 20 to 30 milligrams a day for 8 weeks with the Humanifor, and then switch back to the lower dose and stay on the Humanifor, keep your gains and keep your health, and get better results than the guys that are staying on these high doses for years. It's a fact. And when he actually did it, it blew his mind. He got bigger than he was on the larger amounts of TRT that somebody had told him to do. And now he's gone even off the TRT and is just taking Humanifor because he knows the importance of the Humanifor and what it does. And taken in high enough amounts, not only is it going to restore his natural testosterone if he's still training hard and eating right, it will go higher. And the free test, plus a lot of guys with low T that are taking Humanofort, doctors can't even believe they have low T because of how well they look and everything else. The only thing that, because they still recover and they're getting the IGF-1, the IGF-2, the follistatin, things like that, and they're still able to put on muscle even with low testosterone, okay? Just like a woman would. Women obviously genetically aren't going to put on as much mass as a man, but the growth factors work the same. Women, the growth factors hit receptors in their brain, and their brain is set up to balance out the estrogen to testosterone ratio, and most of women's androgens come from the adrenal glands. It heals the adrenal cortex. So when they're training, they get the androgens that are meant for their body, and they're able to put on muscle, but yet still be feminine and carry on having, being a woman and not having the masculinity side effects. So I'll start making some videos on that stuff very soon. On myself, I'm not excited about I took a job, and it's just because, switching from humanofort.com to humanofortusa.net, I still have people contacting me. Luckily, they're contacting me, but they haven't figured out, because that damn humanofort.com hasn't been taken down. Google is still reverting people to it. The humanofortusa.net is the proper site to go to, and it's on there. Buy 3 or more and get the 10% discount. Otherwise, if you want a bulk order, go directly through me. I'll save you shipping and a few bucks. But today I might film part of my X3 workout, explain a couple movements. That way, it can help some people out. That's all I'm trying to get to there. But and my struggle with, coming off antidepressants from some life issues is getting better. Completely off the antidepressants now, weaned off 3/4 of the painkillers, and then anxiety medication I've cut in half already. Humanofort's a large part of that because it helps resensitize, let the receptors act at a higher degree faster, and increases the plasticity, and then balances out the actual brain chemicals faster. Not to say you won't have, some withdrawals and things like that, but it gets you through it much faster, and then will repair things like what Jordan Peterson's going through right now. After years of being on psychiatric drugs, Jordan Peterson's having a lot of problems, and I would like to get a hold of him or somebody that knows him, because Humanofort would definitely help him. And especially with the mitochondria issue, Humanofort regenerates the mitochondria, and it would really benefit Jordan Peterson. So if anybody out there that sees this knows any way to get a hold of Jordan Peterson, I want to contact him directly and get him set up with Emmerich, and we can help. We can help Jordan Peterson, and I love the guy to death. He did a lot of things for me in my life, and I would like to help him. So, with that said, I'm going to cut this video off here, and I appreciate everybody's support. I appreciate you watching the video. If you have anybody out there you think sharing my information to would be helpful, please do so. And again, I'm available. My coaching style has changed. I'm just charging people an upfront fee that's very reasonable to build them a structured diet, training regimen, and supplements. And then they can just pay me monthly or so for a consult to go over what they're doing and make adjustments from there. That way, more people can access me without having to, there's a lot of people that can't afford some of the coaching, and I want everybody to be able to benefit. And then I do have the yearly coaching option, and that I kind of rob myself, but I still, give people honestly the best value out there. But I'm very selective on who I allow do the year plan. The price is ridiculously competitive, but I have to see results. So the person has to be 100% in, or I can't take you on. Okay. That said, I got a lot of things to accomplish in the next few hours, and I will talk to everybody later. I'm going to wolf down a dozen eggs here and a quarter of a papaya and start my full body workout, and then from there finish out my day. And love you all, and I hope any information here helped, and I appreciate everybody again. Talk to you later.